Okay, great. Well. Okay. So we're about to start right now, very soon. Um, let's see. Yeah, I can see someone liking right now. Okay. Hey Evans, how are you doing? Evans, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Share the live for me, Evans. Yeah, share the live. So we start very soon. So share the live. I'm trying to share it myself here. Let's see. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing very amazing. How about you? You said you're doing good. Oh, okay. Um, okay. So, we start something. Okay. And I believe by the end, everybody should learn something amazing, something great, and yeah. Okay. So yesterday was the day we started the 30-day journey. Today is day two, and today I'm going to teach you how to answer visa interview questions. What I've learned so far, and it's going to help you answer your visa interview questions. Okay. So when you join, you keep on liking and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know your country you're watching from. I know Evans is from Ghana. So if you just joined, let me know the country you're watching from. Then we start. Okay. Hey, yeah, how are you doing? Any I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Okay, so let's start. Let's start. Maybe the rest will join later on. So okay, so this is a short slide I want to show you. There are five main questions that I see it appears during almost everybody's visa interview. Almost everybody, it appears. And so we're going to look at these five questions and how to answer these five visa interview questions. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for today, and that'll be it. So you keep on sharing, you keep on liking. I love the way you are tapping the live, Lordina and Evans. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I like the way you like it. Okay, so there are five main questions that you are likely going to be asked during a visa interview, and these are the five main questions. And I said this that yesterday I told you this that you don't have to memorize the answers, right? You don't have to memorize. And these questions I'm going to tell you, you don't have to memorize the answers. And so all I need you to do is to communicate your own story clearly, confidently, naturally, and truthfully. So when you stand on a day, when you stand in front of the visa officer, just be confident. Make sure your answers are very clear. Make sure it's natural. You feel that you are answering a question, not any memorized script, and make sure that whatever you say is honest. And that will be it. That will be it. And so whenever I'm talking to someone before their interview, I always tell them that in your mind, you're already in front of the visa officer and you're talking to him. And yeah, that is how you have to practice. When you practice in front of the mirror or anything, that is how you have to see the whole thing that you are in front of a visa officer and you are talking. That is it. It helps in preparation. So another thing is your story is different from someone else's. The fact that someone said a specific thing for him to get approved doesn't mean you also have to say the same thing to get approved. Okay. So these are the five common questions that I've seen in almost every visa interview. Almost. They either ask you, so when you go for your visa interview, expect one of these questions. Why do you want to study in the US? Why did you choose this university? Why did you choose this program? So I call these three the three whys. They are likely going to ask you this question. So if you don't have an answer to these questions, right after this live, get answers to these three major questions. Why do you want to study in the US? Why did you choose this university? And why did you choose this course or program? Well, if you're going for a B1, B2 visa interview, they're going to ask you why the USA. They will ask you the same thing. Who are you going to see in the USA? How long are you going to stay? So these are the three for B1, B2. But for F1, they are likely going to ask you one of these three. Why do you want to study in the USA? Why did you choose this university? Why did you choose this major or program? Okay, these are the three major things they are likely going to ask you. Now, this forms part of the purpose of travel. And this is, they're going to check your finances. If it's okay, then they know that, okay, if this person goes, he's not going to be a liability. He's going to be able to pay his fees, right? So they might ask you, who is going to sponsor your education? So we are going to learn how to answer all these questions by the end of this live. So by the time you leave this live, you should have an idea of how to answer all these five major questions. And finally, if you're a student, they want to know your plans after school. What are you going to do? And so this is the part where you always have to say, I want to go back to my home country to work on a specific thing. Always, when they ask you, what do you want to do after graduation? Suppose you've graduated and you get employed, what are you going to do? Suppose you do this, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back to your home country? They are all testing for home ties. So just let them know that you'll be returning to your home country to apply what you've learned. Okay. These are the five common questions they are likely going to be asking you. Okay. Five common questions. Now, so for every question, I'm going to teach you a method that is going to work for every question. And by the end, as I said, you should be able to answer all these five questions before your interview. Okay. So this is the first one. Let's say you've gone for your visa interview. Let me show you this really great comment. Let's say you've gone for your interview, right? And where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there's how a visa interview looks like. So if you haven't been there before, there's a exact replica of the interview place. This is how it looks like. Just this. Okay. So you will be this woman right here. These are your documents, okay? And this is a visa officer looking at you, asking you questions. So sometimes they look at you, sometimes they'll look on this computer. So all you have to do is to maintain eye contact because it shows that you are confident. Okay. So let's say you are standing in front of them and they ask you this question. Why do you want to study in the US? How do you answer this question? Okay. So let's go back to the slide. So if you don't know how it looks like, this is how it looks like. Okay. Let's go back to the slide real quick. Yeah, and those liking, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. So you stood in front of the officer. He asked you, why do you want to study in the US? So, one thing I always tell people, don't start by praising America. Oh, America has opportunities. America has this. America has that. America has a cutting edge technology. America has. Don't start by praising it. Yeah, the visa officer knows. And probably the thousands of people who came before you probably said that. Someone said about the university, someone told the officer about the opportunities they are going to get, about this, about that. So don't start by praising the country. What you have to do is to explain your academic purpose. You have to explain your purpose and how the US is going to help you as an individual. So, how do you answer this question? This is how to answer the question. Is a past, present, future method. So, the past is what experience created your interests. So you can say if you've been already working as a doctor, you can say I've been working as a doctor for the past 3 years, and I noticed a problem in the medical field, which is that you mentioned the problem, and you say I'm going to the US to do this and that, and that. That is your present, and your future is I'll eventually return and solve that problem in Ghana. So your past is the experience that created your interests. Your present is what you're going to study. So I'm going to study this in the university of that. So it's going to help me become maybe um, more knowledgeable in oncology, and eventually where it will take you, the education, it will eventually lead me back to my home country to help solve that problem. Great. That is the best answer. Instead of praising the US has this, the US has that. Okay. So up to this point, if you have any questions, you let me know. Any questions about that? So we are currently working on imagine you are in front of a service officer right now, and they ask you, why do you want to study in the US, or why the USA? What do you have to say? Number one, don't praise the US. The US has opportunities. The US has cutting edge technology. They know that already. So what you have to say is talk about yourself. Talk about what inspired you as a person. Talk about you. So yeah, when you go there, talk about you when they ask you. Evans, when you go there, talk about you when they ask you. I don't know the rest who have joined right now, but comment so I see your name, and yeah, I address you one on one. So comment your country so I see your name. Okay. Comment your country. So yeah, let's go back to the slide. So that is how to answer questions like why do you want to study in the US? Okay. Again, don't start by praising the country you're going to go into. No, don't praise the country. Just explain your academic purpose. What inspired you to do that? So I use the bridge method. I wrote that in my book. I'll show it to you very soon. So in the past, what inspired your interest, your present, why you're going to the US to study the specific thing you want to study, and the future, how you eventually come back to your home country to help them fight that problem. And so there's an example. Okay, so you've gone to a visa interview. They ask you, why do you want to study in the United States? People will start by saying the US has opportunities. I don't want to hear that. So there's a best answer. I'm going to the US to pursue a master's degree in business analytics. So, and you link it back to, so that is your past. Okay. And you link it back to your past, which is growing up, I saw how businesses and organizations often had to make important decisions without having access to reliable data. That experience developed my interest in using data to solve real world problems. I chose business analytics because it will give me the technical and analytical skills I need to turn data into better decisions. So this is your present, okay, why you're going to the US. And you let them know you prove home ties here that after completing, I plan to use my skills and career to contribute to organizations back in my home country. So there's a very great answer instead of giving general answer. So be very, very specific on why you want to study. Do you want to study in the US to solve a specific problem? Do you want to study in the US to gain more knowledge, to go back to your country and help? What exactly? So right now, there's a quick assignment. Type in the comment section why you decided. Hey, yeah, yeah, he's in Ghana. Okay. So type in the comment section why you decided to study in the US. Yeah, I'll be giving everybody 20 seconds. Type your answer, I read it and see whether it's great. But this is a great answer to give because now the visa officer knows about you, knows about your background, knows about what inspired you, um, and also knows about that you're going to return to your home country to help. So, in my opinion, this is a very, very great answer when you go for your visa interview. Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question is I explained why this answer works. It works because it's not direct. Okay, I'm going to the it works because number one, I first answered the question. So that's what you have to do. The first sentence has to answer the question. Is that why do you want to study in the US? I'm going to the US to study masters in business analytics. So it's direct. Then I explained what actually piqued my interest to study business analytics. So you explain the problem. Growing up in my home country, I saw businesses and organizations often had to make important decisions without having access to reliable data, which is very true, especially in Africa. So you explain how you're going to go to the US. So that experience developed my interest in using data to solve real world problems. So this is why you chose business analytics because it will give you the skills you need in order to make data into better decisions. So after completing, you come back to your home country. So there's a very great answer. So one thing I want you to know, and don't use the same thing during your visa interview, but one thing I want you to know is try your maximum best to talk about yourself. Now, when somebody tells me this, I know a lot of things about this person. That this person is um, this person is a visionary person because he has noticed the problem and he wants to solve that problem. This person is hardworking. So when a visitor sees somebody like this, if somebody tells me this and I'm a visa officer, I'll be likely to give him the visa because now I know everything about him. And when he comes to my when he comes to my country, he's not going to stay here forever. He's going to go back to his country and use the skills to help develop his country. So I'm not going to prevent him by not giving him the visa. So the answer is direct personal connection. I feel that I know this person, okay, and explains the why the where the reason it come from. Explain why business analytics and future plans, why he wants to return to his home country. So you don't have to memorize this, okay? So I wrote your 10. So right now I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Think about this answer really well. Why the US? Okay, why do you want to study in the US? Is there a specific problem you want to solve back in your home country? What exactly do you want to do? So write it down. Um, Within the coming days, when I'm live, I'll take your answers, review it whilst I'm on live, and I'll give you a personal feedback. Okay. So write down your answers. That is very, very important because when you write it down, you can improve upon your previous answer. But if you think that, oh, I can, is everything is in my memory, I don't have to write it down, you're going to forget. So write every answer down. Okay. So let's go to the next common question they're likely going to ask you during a visa interview. Why did you choose this university? So you don't have to say, oh, it's a good university. No, you don't have to say that. So this is how you have to go about it. You have to let the officer know that you've done your research. You know the exact reason why you are choosing the school. Okay. So this is how I was going to answer the question. Why did you choose this university? Now, your story is simple. You are going to do business analytics. So that's your story, that's your background. So why did you choose this university? I chose this university because of this is data analytics program. Okay. It offers courses. You can mention the courses that program offers. Okay. And how it's going to help you as an individual. That is why I said in the beginning, most of the answers have to be linked to you as a person. Always. Most of the answers have to be linked to you as a person. So why the US, you notice that we try to link it to us as a person that growing up we saw a lot of things that what was the answer? Growing up, we saw how businesses and organizations had to make important decisions without having access to reliable data. So you link it to yourself. And that's the same thing here. That's the same thing here. I chose this university. I chose business analytics program because of the courses. You can mention one or two courses, and you mention how it's going to help you as an individual. And so, before you can answer this question, I would like you to write down maybe two reasons, two main reasons. And so, this the reason number one. And reason number two, found out that the program emphasizes on practical projects. So, you can talk about the research, and you can mention a professor who is working on a research and how you want to study in with that professor or how you want to research with that professor and eventually come back. So be very, very specific on why you chose that university. Get one or two things or three things in the university that you like in that school. Okay. So practical projects were just important to me. Again, you link it back to yourself because I want to apply what I've learned to real business problems. After comparing several universities, I found out that this program fits my career goals. Great, great answer. So again, be specific. Be specific on that. Get two or three main reasons why you chose a university. It has to be very specific. Okay, and it has to be about you as an individual. Yep. So up to this point, if you have a question, you let me know. So we go to the next question. If you have any questions, you let me know. So we go to the next question. So I want you to try and answer this question. The second question, why did you choose this university? So I review it very quick. So we move on to the next one. If that is okay with you, let's do that. So answer this question. Let me put it in the chat right now. And use this as your reference. So you get two So you get two or three main reasons, and you have to link the reasons to yourself. So you can talk about the research in that university carried out by, you mentioned a specific professor, or maybe they gave you a good amount of scholarships. That is also a good reason why you can choose a university. And so that is going to decrease your financial burden, which is a very good reason. Um, you can give reasons like this one, the courses they offer, which is going to help you with the skills you want to develop. So Write down three main reasons why you choose that university. And it has to be very specific, not general. Very, very specific. Yeah. So I'm giving you 1 minute. You have 30 seconds more. Write down three reasons why you chose the university you chose. Three main reasons. Hi, Grace. How are you doing? So you don't have to write full sentences. I just need three reasons from you on why you chose your university. So, for example, you chose East Tennessee University. Why did you choose that school? Give me two or three reasons. So, there are five people currently on board. So, everyone should give me three reasons why you chose your current university. Now, if you write it in points, when you go to the visa interview finally and you're answering the questions, it's going to be very, very easy for you. So, I need two or three reasons why you chose your university. Make it specific. You can talk about research, the school offers. You can talk about the courses. You can talk about the programs. You can talk about how quick they responded to your email, and you realize that they are very welcoming. That is also a good reason. You can talk about the scholarship offers they gave you. Grace, I'm doing good. So you guys have 30 seconds more to give me two or three reasons. Okay. Prince said facilities research of a professor. Okay, that's great. That's amazing. Yeah. So facilities, you can talk about. Okay, I chose East Tennessee, or I chose Glenville State University because of the um, facilities they offer. That is going to. So after you say the facilities, you have to link it to yourself as an individual. That is going to help me develop the skills or do this and that. And also a professor, this and that. I always recommend that you mention a professor's name so they know that you've done the research. Professor this and that is working on renewable sources of energy. So, and that is exactly what I want to do back in my home country, Ghana, because we rely on mostly hydropower. And I want to learn more about solar and eventually go back. So, after you say this, you try and link it to yourself and how it's going to help you and your future goals. That is it. That is how to answer this question. So, before you answer every question, why the USA, get 2 or 3 points and put it down. So it's going to make it very easy. Um, let's see. Yeah, said fully funded scholarship. That is great. Yeah. That's a great reason to choose a school. Impressive virtual tour of the advanced nursing labs. Yeah, nice. Excellent hands-on clinical simulation facilities. Yes, yes. So all the reasons you all mentioned, they are great, but one thing I always say, link it to yourself. So fully funded scholarship, that is going to help me alleviate the financial burden. Also, I took a virtual tour of the school and I saw the advanced nursing lab, and I believe these nursing labs are going to help me. So always link it back to yourself. And excellence hands-on clinical simulation facilities. They have simulation facilities such as the you mentioned the name of the lab, maybe Robert K simulation lab. That is also going to help me. So always link it to yourself and how it's going to help you and your future goals. Miska said small classes. So again, I don't really recommend small classes because if you can explain why small classes will help you, maybe the professor is going to give you much attention. That is fine. But if you don't give any reason, that is not fine. So, Miska, after you say small classes, how is it going to help you? Okay, this will enable professors to take more or give me more time so I can really learn and improve. Welcoming is also very great. Yeah. Betty said, strong accounting and finance program, diverse learning environment for international students. Great, great, um, great. Practical skills which I need to apply in raw business management problem. Yeah, these are all great. Yeah, amazing, amazing. So I love all your answers. They are all great, but try to link it to yourself, your career, and your future goals, and that will be it. So right now, I'm very glad that you have an answer to this question: why the U.S. Why this university? Be very, very specific as possible and link it to yourself. That is it. So let's go to the next question really quick. So these are the answers I need everybody to avoid because the university is famous. A friend recommended it. This is partial because a friend can recommend it. So you can say my friend recommended it to me, and I also made my own research on the school and I found it. So after you say my friend recommended it, don't leave it in isolation because it's a good school. There's a general answer. I like the location. Yeah, it could be a reason why you chose a school, but it's not a tangible reason during a visa interview. Okay, it's ranked highly. It's also can be a reason, but don't leave it in isolation. So as I said, if you mention something, so those who mentioned small class sizes, I think Betty mentioned strong academic accounting and finance program. Yeah, mentioned fully funded scholarship, and Prince mentioned facilities and the research of a specific professor. Yes. So you be prepared to explain it, why the research is going to help you as an individual. So let's go to the next question. So the next question is, why did you choose this major? And from the beginning, we've talked about three main things. Okay, we've talked about why this university, why the US, and why this major. There's a hundred, don't let me say 100, there is a 95% chance that they are going to ask you at least one of these questions. So during my visa interview, they didn't ask me why the US, they asked me this question: why this major? Again, we use the same format to answer it. Get two or three main reasons and try and link it to yourself. That is it. So I'm not going to go over this. It's the same thing. Two or three main reasons, link it to yourself. So here, there's an example I gave. I chose business analytics because I have become interested in how organizations can use data to make better decisions. During my previous studies, so linking it to myself. So I became particularly interested in analyzing information and identifying patterns. This program will help me develop those skills further and prepare me for a career where I can use data to solve business problems. So you answer the question, you link it to yourself and how it's going to help you. That is it. So at this part, I want you to mention your major, what you want to do, the course you want to do in the comments, and give me two or three main reasons why you chose that major. So, for example, mathematics, okay, and give me two or three main reasons. Is there a problem you want to use your degree to solve, or is there something you are currently working on? So, I think answers to a visa interview is mostly about sitting down, analyzing your life, and seeing what part of your life aligns with a specific goal. That is it. So I remember before I came here when I was in Ghana, I had to do, it was an interview, right? It was an interview. Come here. Okay, so you can see me well. I had to do an interview with a school. And the school, I chose electrical engineering. And so they started doing interview in order to give me a scholarship. And so what I said to impress or to make them more likely to choose me was I started with my story of how growing up I loved to tinker with electrical appliances. For example, the radio, I'll just open it and try to fix stuff. I'll just try to create new things, and the interviewer was very very happy when I said that I love to open stuff. I love to mess up with electrical devices. I got electrocuted at a point, but that didn't stop me, and he was very very happy to hear these answers. And so that is the similar thing to a visa interview. Let them know a part of your life. If someone knows a part of your life, it's easier for them to connect with you on a personal level. And if someone is able to connect with you, the person will trust you. And if a visa officer trusts you, it's going to be easier for them to give you a visa, because everything you're going to do in a visa interview is to build a trust with the person. Okay. If you build trust with a visa officer, it's going to be easy to give you a visa because he trusts you. Oh, this person is going to obey the rules. This person is going to do that. So they trust you. So, a summary of what we've learned so far. Three major questions. They are likely going to ask you one of these questions during a visa interview. So, get answers to these three questions. I call them the three big whys. Why this university? Why the US? Why this major? And the trick to answering these three questions is try and write down two or three reasons why, for example, why you chose that major. Try your maximum best to link it to yourself as a person, because you want them to connect with you. And if they connect with you, it's going to be able for them to trust you. And if they trust you, they are going to give you a visa. So that is it. You're going there to build trust and be yourself, be natural, be authentic. So that is basically how to answer the three big whys. Why this course, why this university, why now? Try and let them feel a part of you. Okay. And so um yeah, very soon I'll show you an example of somebody who got approved and he used a similar thing to get approved. After we are done with everything, all the questions and answers, I'll show you everything. So one major question, there's a 95% chance that they are going to ask you this question. Who is sponsoring your education? Even 100%, they are likely going to ask you this question. So get an answer to this question. I think this is one of the easiest questions to answer during a visa interview because it follows just one pattern. Okay, so let's go right into it. So number one, you mentioned who is going to fund you. So you mentioned, okay, my dad is going to sponsor me. He's in the person of this and that. Let me show you real quick. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I shared my screen. I haven't. Okay, so this is one question they are likely going to ask you: who is going to sponsor you? Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to answer the question. Talk about your dad or your mom or your uncle. Talk about the relationship you have with the person, the work the person does, and how he's going to sponsor you, and his credibility or his ability. Maybe he has a lot of money or something. Because if the person who is going to sponsor you doesn't have enough money, they are going to deny you. For example, if your tuition is $10,000 and your uncle has $8,000 in his bank account, there is no way you can pay $10,000 every year. So they will deny you because your financial capabilities is weak. So they will deny you. So always the money in your bank account or your sponsor's bank account has to be greater than the money you're going to pay every year. Okay. So this is how to answer this question. Who is sponsoring you? What is the relationship you have with the sponsor? So for example, if your dad is sponsoring you, it makes great sense because your dad is responsible for you. But if your, for example, if your great grandmother is sponsoring you, you have to add more to his credibility. Why did he decide to sponsor you? And what he does? Maybe he works at a petroleum company. He has his own company. He has his own farm. What does he do? And how will your education be funded? So let me give you an example. So who is going to sponsor your education? So you can say, officer, my dad is going to sponsor my dad is sponsoring my education. He's a business owner in Ghana and he has supported my education for several years. Now the visa officer knows that your dad works. He has his own business. But here I had to add the specific business. So you can add he has his own mining company in Ghana. He has his own um, he has his own supermarket or something. He has his own consulting business in Ghana. Or my father is a doctor in Ghana and he has supported my education for several years. So if he has supported your education, it means that he's going to support you this time. So now his ability. He'll cover my tuition and living expenses using income from his business and funds he has set aside for my education. That's a great answer. Or this one way to answer it. Or some people will just add he makes an annual income of 100,000 US dollars. People can add that. But this is one of the easiest questions to answer. So that is who is going to sponsor you. So I need everybody to write who is going to sponsor. Answer this question is very easy to answer. Answer this question, who is going to sponsor your education, in the comments. Let me read it and let me give you a suggestion right now. If it's your father, it's great because your father is responsible for you legally. But if it's your uncle, try and add something very significant, like why did your uncle decide to sponsor you now? Okay, try and add that. So I'm waiting for you. I'm giving everybody 1 minute to answer that question. Who is going to sponsor education? And make sure you write the answer you type down. Okay, write it down. When you're practicing, look on the book and keep on practicing. So write in the comment section who is sponsoring your education. So you start by answering the question. My grandmother is sponsoring my education. My dad is sponsoring my education. So after you answer, you say that first sentence, you try and add more credibility on how he's going to sponsor your education. Does he own his own business? Does he have a job that is going to help you as an individual? So yeah, I'll be waiting. Yeah, Grace, you can reach out to me. Yeah, you can reach out to me. So let's answer this question real quick. Who is sponsoring your education? 45 seconds more. Who is sponsoring your education? If the person is not part of your nuclear family, try and add try and add Prince said, my father is sponsoring my education. That's a great first answer. He's an IT consultant and owns two private. That is perfect. He is paying, I love this. He's paying my teaching and living expenses and has already set aside money for that. That is great. Yeah, that is amazing. So you can add this last sentence. He makes an annual income of um, $300,000 from his businesses. Perfect. They'll be like, okay, if this person makes the 300,000, his fees is around $20,000, he can pay it with ease. So you're done. So the next thing the visa officer will probably ask is, pass me your bank statement. So you give him the bank statement of your dad. He sees the 300K in his bank account. You'll be like, okay. So that is why, in my opinion, if you have a great bank statement, this is the easiest question to answer during a visa interview. So Prince has answered it. I love it. Prince, you can maintain this answer for your visa interview. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. So maintain this answer during your visa interview. And who again? I'm waiting for you have 25 seconds more to type your answer. So Prince, I need you to write your answer down if you haven't already and keep on practicing with this answer. Grace said it concerns my funding. Yeah. What about your funding? And this is a key tip to you if you are preparing to go for your interview, right? And the time is not almost up, and you still need some funding. This is what I needed to do. Try and message some professors in the school. It's called cold emailing. Don't just message three professors and that is it. Message like 10, 20 professors. I tell them about your background, tell them about yourself. My name is Grace. I am an international student from Ghana, and I have been working on mention a project you've been working on. Because if the professor is also doing a research in that, they need more people to work in that. And once the professor recruits you to do a research for them, they are going to pay you. They can even take your full tuition. So that is the main way many people get graduate assistantships. It's not by just applying. Just applying on the school's website works a lot. But sometimes it depends on personal connection. Everything in the world, especially in America, is connection, personal connection with somebody. That is it, personal connection. If you don't have personal connection in this country, and that's one key, it's going to be very difficult. I believe everybody is finally going to get here in the US, but when you get here, the first thing you have to be doing is connections, like form connection, form alliances, try and talk to people. You wouldn't know who is going to help because everything is about connections. So that's the same thing. If you're waiting till your visa interview, or if you have applied and you're waiting for a decision from the school, start talking to professors, like talk to them about yourself. Oh, I have a research in that. So if you're interested in, let's say, solar energy, and you go to the school's website and you see a professor working on solar energy, email that professor, talk to him. Hey, my name is yeah, I'm from Ghana. For the past 2 years I've been working on this project on solar energy, and I saw you have the same um you're also working on the same thing. So is there any way I can help you, or is there any way I can help? Okay. So go email them in a way that you want to help, because everybody wants help. Don't email them in a way that you want to take something from them. I need something. Email them in a way that you've seen something they are doing and you want to contribute to that. Everybody wants somebody who can help them, not somebody you can take from them. So one of the main reasons why professors do not respond to cold emails is you go there straight. My name is, yeah, I'm looking for a full scholarship. Can you help me? If I'm a professor, I'm not going to answer that question. Never. I'm not. So email them in a way that you are offering to help. So that is it. So let's go to the next question. There is a fourth question. Let's go to the next question and how to answer it. So one thing I'll tell you is to know your numbers. Know the tuition the school charges. Maybe they charge 5,000 euros, or know that. Know your total cost of attendance. Know the living expenses and who is paying, because they might ask a follow-up question on that. Yeah. So the next question is, what will you do after your studies? What are you going to do? So this question, this is how I would recommend you answer this question. Always tell them that you're ready to go back to your home country. Okay? Always. Under no circumstance should you say you're going to stay. You may have other plans, but let them know that you're going to return to your home country. So let's go right into it. Let me skip this one. So this a sample answer I gave. So you stand in front of the officer, you imagine you're standing in front of the visa officer, the officer asks you, what will you do after your studies? So you start answering. After completing my master's degree in business analytics, I plan to return to Ghana. Great answer right here. I plan to return to Ghana. So they know that you're going to return to your home country to pursue a career in data analytics. I want to use, and after you say that, immediately you add how you are going to go back to your country and help with what you've learned. Okay. So after completing my master's in business analytics, I plan to go back to Ghana and pursue a career in data analytics. Why do you want to go to Ghana, and why do you want to pursue it? So I want to use the technical skills I've learned, I developed during my studies to help organizations and make better decisions using data. Boom, visa approved. So yeah, always let them know you're going to go back to your home country. So if you're from Zambia, I plan to return to Zambia and pursue a career in this. I plan to return to Ghana and build my own hospital to help people in my village. I plan to return to Ghana to start my own NGO. So we will return to Ghana with a purpose, something you want to do to impact lives. Or I want to go back to Ghana and build my own software with the skills I've learned to help people in rural areas get access to doctors in the cities, because many people do not have access to that. Okay, I'm going to Ghana to build a software to decrease illiteracy rate and increase literacy rate. I'm going back to Ghana to build this software to help in education. So something like that. I'm going back to Ghana to be a politician, to learn to use my political science knowledge and degree I've learned in the US to eventually go back and be a minister of education to change the education system in Ghana. So always get a problem or something you want to do back in your home country and let them know. So your plans after studies always have to be you're going back to Ghana to work on something. Oh, okay. Grace, do you have full funding on tuition or you have full funding on total cost of attendance? Does it cover everything? If it covers everything, you don't even need a sponsor. You don't need a bank statement. If it covers your living expenses, it covers everything. But if just tuition, you have to pay living expenses, then you need a sponsor. Okay. So that is how, and this is also one of the easiest questions to answer. What will you do after your studies? Because the answer always have to be one way. How you will return to your country and help with the skills you've learned. One way. That is it. So I wrote here, your answers should reflect your genuine plans. What do you want to do back in your home country? So again, I'm giving everybody 1 minute. Type what you want to do in your home country. It doesn't have to be a full sentence. I want to know what you want to do in your home country with a degree. So in this example is business analytics, right? So what you want to do in Ghana has to be related to what you learned. You came here to learn. So you can't here come here and do nursing and you say you want to go back and build a software. How are you going to use nursing to build a software? Yeah. Or you want to come here, do computer science, go back and be a doctor. So yeah. So give me the reason why you want to go back to your country. 1 minute. Grace, your question, is it a fully funded total cost of attendance, or is it fully funded tuition? Guys, you have 45 seconds more. Hello, Soft Pinky, how are you doing? 30 seconds more. I just need something you want to go back to your home country and work on. That is exactly what I need. If you can provide that, that is great. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you make sure to subscribe before you leave. And if you haven't liked this live as well, make sure to do that. I can only see one like, and it's from yeah. I can't see the rest. So you make sure to like and subscribe. Okay. 20 seconds more. What are your plans after graduation? What do you want to do? What do you want to work on in your home country? Okay. Betty said, I plan to return to Kenya to use the knowledge and practical skills gained to build my career in accounting and finance and promote to development of my country. That is great. That is great. That's a great answer. But it will be more amazing, right? If you are specific on the exact okay, let me see. I plan to return to Kenya to use the knowledge and practical skills gained to build my career in accounting and finance. I love that. And promote to the development of my country. Okay, how is accounting and finance going to promote the development of your country? Add something little to it. But I love this so far. Okay, J1, you also have to say the same thing. Return to your home country. He said, what about J1 hospitality as a trainee? I can say I intend to return to my country and continue my hospitality career where I can effectively apply the skills and knowledge I gained. In what? So you can apply the skills and in this example, in the example on the screen, right? I said I want to use the technical skills I gained to help. So you have to use the skills to do something back in your home country, something specific. So this in this example, the specific thing I want to do with business analytics is to help organizations make better decisions using data. So how is the hospitality, which is a very great one there, and it's J1 visa, which is great. How is hospitality going to help you come back to your country to work on something specific? If you can give that reason, that is a great answer. And Betty as well. Um, the development of your country, how? So you can add something like to as I said. Okay, I'll apply the knowledge to help business management, businesses make better decisions. I love that. Yeah, I love that. Yep, great. So the time for this answer is up. Let's go to the last answer. Then I'll talk to you a little bit. Prince said, I'll return to Ghana. So the first thing you have to say is, I'll return to my home country with this question. So they know that, okay, you don't plan to stay in their country. You plan to go back to your home country. So the first answer is good. First sentence is good. I plan to return to Ghana and build my career in the petroleum industry. That is an amazing industry to be in, and continue to contribute in the advanced technical and contribute the advanced technical skills I'll gain in reservoir management and production optimization to improve oil. Boom. Yeah. Brains, that's a very, very great answer. No comment on that. So you've said what you want to work on to improve oil recovery. Great. And you also, one thing I love about this answer is you also mentioned the skills you gained in a specific field like reservoir management and production optimization. That is also great. That is also great. I think so far everybody is doing well. So I think your answers are good. The next thing we have to work on in the coming days is your delivery. Okay, your answers should be good, but how you speak, how you deliver should be very good as well. So how you talk during the interview, because you don't go there and write the answers down. You have to go there and talk to them. So we're also going to work on your delivery. After you get good answers, we work on your delivery, and that is it. You have a perfect answer. So and you go there, and that would be great. Soft Pinky said, I plan to return to Cameroon to continue my hospitality career and apply the skills in the hospitality industry in my country, especially. Yeah, food and, yep. Yeah, so say something specific. Food and beverage department. Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great. You guys are doing amazing. I love that. So let's go to the last question and we summarize it and we close for today. In the coming days, I'll find time, then we work on how you can answer the questions like a delivery. Okay. Yeah. So the last question. Oh, there's the last question. Five questions. Yeah. So we are done for today. So one thing I'll tell everybody is don't memorize the answers. Let me share it again. Don't memorize your answers, okay? Never do that. It's easy. You are all answering the questions in the comment section. That is all they need. It has to sound natural. So memorize answers can sound unnatural. Don't memorize, okay? Just write it down, keep on practicing. It will become part of you. The more you do something, the more it become part of you. Number two, you may panic if the officer changes the wording. If you memorize and the officer, maybe you've memorized the answer to a specific question. If the officer changes the word, then you'll be confused. Should I have to answer it in this way or no? Yeah. So if you memorize, you'll be confused. So, for example, someone was confused during his interview because he memorized an answer for why the US. when the visa officer asks why the US, this is how I'm going to answer it. So when he got there, he was asked, why are you traveling to the US? Which in a way is the same answer, which in a way is the same question. He had to answer it the same way he answered why the US, but he got confused and denied. So yeah, don't memorize. You have to have an idea. Write down 2 or 3 points as I showed you in the beginning. If you memorize, your answers may not match your application, which is true, and you need to understand your own story. So these are the words I want to leave you with today. You have to tell the truth, know your story, and answer the question directly. That is it. So these are the 5 questions we worked on today. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Why do you want to study in the US? Why did you choose this university? We answered it. Why did you choose this program or major? We answered it. Who is going to sponsor your education? We answered it. Where I said you have to first say the name of your sponsor. Maybe my dad is going to sponsor my education, and you mentioned what your dad does. Maybe he has this oil refinery in Ghana, or who has an oil refinery? He has his own filling station in Ghana or something, and he makes an annual income of this, and he has saved this amount to take care of my education. That's great. What will you do after your studies? That is what we worked on right now. That it always have to be I return back to my country, I return to Kenya, I return to Cameroon, I return to Ghana, I return to Nigeria to work on this stuff. So if you can say that, great. Congratulations. So these if you go for your interview and they don't ask you one of these questions, change my name. Don't call me Nathaniel again. Change my name. They are likely going to ask you one of these questions. That is why we had to work on this. So the next time we will be working on your delivery as well. How to. Yeah. Yeah. He said, how do we answer questions like, what if I deny your visa? Okay. So what if I deny your visa? The first thing you have to do is let me give you a quick framework on how to answer this question. This is a very tricky question. And okay, so what if I deny your visa? The first thing you have to do is I don't want you to acknowledge that you go and try again. That is what many people give. But I want you to talk to them about how you deserve the visa and how the visa is going to help you. Um, and if so you later add answer the question. So for example, what if I deny your visa? I believe giving me the visa would help me do this, go to the US and eventually come back to help my country. So let them know how the visa is going to help you. That is the first thing you have to do. But if I don't get the visa, I'll try again because you have the goal to help your country. You get it? So they will feel this motivation in you that hey, you have a plan, you have something to do. So don't just accept defeat. Oh, when you deny my visa, I'll go work on the reason why and come again. Instead, make it more stronger by saying, by answering it in the opposite direction by saying, giving me the visa would help me. Okay, give them an importance of you getting the visa. Okay, getting the visa. So what if I deny your visa? Actually, getting my visa would help me go to the US and eventually come back to help people with disabilities. However, if I don't get the visa, I would work on the reasons why I got denied and try again because I have a goal of helping people with disabilities in Ghana. So 10 the question, answer it how the visa is going to help you. Okay, then you answer the question like if you get denied, you are still going to try again because you have a purpose, you have a goal, and you have something to work on. Yeah, do you understand? Yeah, so I recommend you initially don't accept defeat that what if I deny your visa? You'll be like, okay, so if I you deny my visa, I'll go back home. I would look I'll look at what I did wrong and try again. That is a good answer. Trust me, that is a very good answer that you accept it and try again. But what if you give a good reason why you actually deserve the visa? What if I deny your visa? Officer, I currently have the dream to go to the US, learn more about AI, and eventually come back to help Ghana with digitalization. So the visa is going to help me do that. However, if I don't get a visa, I would go back home. So you can add the first answer I gave later on. I'll go back home, work on what went wrong, and I'll come back and try again because I have the goal of helping Ghana with the development of AI. You get it? So I think the whole thing is about conviction, how you answer. That is what I'm going to teach you next. Sometimes your answers could be wrong. You can type a very good answer, but your delivery could be shaky a little bit, and that will lead to denial. So how you answer it. And one thing I've noticed is people answer the question in a way that they sound unsure. So, for example, let's use Soft Pinky's answer. It was like, I intend to return to Cameroon to continue my hospitality career and apply the skills in hospitality industry in my country, especially food and beverage departments. Okay, so that's a great answer, right? So the delivery will be like, I plan to return to Cameroon to continue my hospitality career. So I don't want the ending where you end on a high note, like career and apply the skills in hospitality. Like it seems that you are not sure. So I love people to always answer and end the sentence in a low note, in a low tone. Like I plan to return to Cameroon, like in a low tone, not in Cameroon. Like end the sentence in a low tone, and it makes you sound sure and very confident. So I plan to return to Cameroon and continue my hospitality career and apply the skills in the hospitality industry in my country, especially food and beverage departments. Okay, always end a sentence on a low tone. It makes you sound very confident. Okay, and I sometimes do that in my videos. I sometimes say, I'm going to talk to you about three things. So it makes you sound very confident and people believe in what you say if you end on a low tone. So always do that. Don't end on a, I'm going to the US to study. So I'm going to the US to study mathematics. Okay. Yeah. Always end on a low tone. That is the tip I'm going to give you before we start. So with time, you're going to practice more on the delivery. That is very, very important. Concerning the cold email to professors, can someone applying for undergraduate, right? Yeah, for everyone. So cold emailing is not just you want opportunities. Cold emailing is a way to connect, right? It's just a connection. So undergrad, everyone can do it. Go on LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, just create an account. Try emailing or try messaging two people a day. In a year, you've emailed like 700 and something people, and none of them will say no. Or you can email like 10 people in a day, okay? Or talk to them, send them DMs. So undergrad, you can tell them, hi, my name is Betty. I'm from Kenya and I've been working on this project and I see that you're working on the same project. So how can I help you accomplish that project? The person will reach out 100% because he sees someone who is not a parasite, someone who's coming to take something from them, but someone who's going to add value. And so they're going to easily reply that message and say, hey, Betty, okay, I'm working on this. Can you currently help? That is where connection will begin. And if the professor decides to help you or add you to his team, most professors in researchers have teams, and some of them are undergrad. So I always tell people this: don't limit yourself to professors in your department. For example, you are doing mathematics. Don't limit yourself to professors in mathematics alone. You can sometimes email professors in engineering that, hey, you are working on um engineering which projects? Engineering. You're working on batteries or something. You're working on batteries. You're working on lithium batteries, right? So you email them that, I can see you're working on lithium batteries. I have a background in mathematics and I want to contribute to what you're working on. So these research, they don't need just engineers. Sometimes they need analysts, they need data analysts, which is another department. They need cybersecurity professionals to help with the other things. They also need, so they don't need people in engineering alone. They need people from other departments. They need mathematicians on board in the research. So don't limit yourself to people in only your department. You wouldn't know. Sometimes there was a guy who emailed a professor in, I think, teaching department, and the professor liked his email. So he said, I can't currently help you because I'm not doing any research, but I know someone who is a good friend of mine. So I'll refer you to him. And that is it. So everything, and two things I wish I knew before I came to America. I'm telling you because I believe everybody is going to come here. Number one is you always have to form connections. I wish I knew that earlier on. Form connections with almost everybody you meet. Like talk to people and don't try and gain something from the person. Try and add value to that person. I want to help you with this. I want to help you with that. The person would like you. And number two, the moment you come here, life starts. So try and get internships as quick as possible. Okay. Get internships from people, companies. If you wait till you graduate before you start, the job market here is not as you think in Ghana or you think in Africa, oh, it's easy to get a job. Many people have graduated and are still waiting. There is no job available. Trust me on that. It's very difficult to get a job here. So the easiest way to get a job is by doing internship when you are in school. You are still in school, you do internship. That is the easiest way to get a job when you graduate. So you try making connections when you're undergrad, graduate students, make connections as quick as possible right now. So they are the research where they need undergrad students. So you wouldn't know, Betty. Just email them. Okay. And this is your assignment. Yesterday I gave you an assignment, right? This is your assignment for today. If you are still preparing for your interview, try and email five professors. Okay. Let ChatGPT help you with the email. And you don't want to sound like a parasite, someone who needs help, but you want to sound like someone who wants to add value to what the professor is doing. Let ChatGPT create a draft for you. Make it more, change one or two things, make it more humanized, make it very short because they don't have time to read they don't have time to read like a long email, like a short email. Hey, my name is Nathaniel. I am an international student from Ghana, or a prospective international student from Ghana. I saw your research in that, and I also have an experience in that, so I want to give, or I want to help you with that and that and that. You add it, and that is it. If you need graduate assistantship, you can add that if there is any graduate assistantship opportunities available, I want you to let me know. That is it. Salamat is from Ghana. Great. Salamat, you're late. We talked about five questions you're likely going to ask you and how to answer it. So tomorrow, God willing, if my schedule doesn't change, if the topics I've planned doesn't change, we will work on how to deliver the answers. By now, everybody has an answer to the five questions: why the USA, why this school, why this major, who is going to sponsor you, and your plans after graduation. As I said, during a visa interview, they are likely going to ask one of these. Oh, okay. My J1 interview is on Monday, and I still have a problem on how to deliver. So let me know in the comments if it's okay to work um talk to you about delivering tomorrow, how to deliver your answers tomorrow. If it's okay, if we should do it tomorrow, type yes in the comment section. So we meet tomorrow, same time, then we work on how to deliver your answers. Yeah, type yes, or we should work on other things. Okay. Soft Pinky said yes. I need 5 votes. Okay, Prince said yes. 3 more votes. Betsy said yes, yes. Yeah, said yes. We need one more vote to finalize everything because there are 10 people here currently. One last person to say yes. Okay, Vincent said yes. Okay, so it's finalized. Tomorrow we're going to work on how to deliver your answers. So to make everything easy for me and for you, the 5 questions we practiced today, get answers to that based on the rules I gave you. I'm going to try and who is not part of the group, I'm going to try and put the slide in the group. Yeah, so you can look on it and craft your answer. So to make everything easier for me and you, get answers to these five questions. You can write it down right now. So when we come here and we are working on the delivery, you already know the answers you have to say. So we just focus on how you can speak. That is it. So these are the five questions I want you to get answers to. Why do you want to visit the US? Number two, why this program or why this major? Number three, why this university? Number four, who is going to sponsor your education? And number five, what are your plans after your graduation? What are your plans after your studies? These are the five things. And I need you to write a story, like a story about yourself, your background, and what you intend to do in the US and your future goals. Write it down as well. So it will make the delivering very, very easy. And one trick about delivering I told you today is always try to end on a low tone, okay, a low pitch. Like I'm going to the US to study cybersecurity. Don't say cybersecurity. And yeah, I'm going to the US to study cybersecurity. Yeah. So tomorrow, that's what we're going to work on. Same time, don't forget. I'll put a link in the group again, and we all join. If you have any questions, you can ask now. I'm giving you like 2 minutes to ask your questions. Then we close for today. We've been here for more than 1 hour. So 2 minutes. If you have any questions, you can ask right now. Okay. If there is no questions, we learned. Let me show you one last, and then we close for today. Let me show you one last thing, and then we close. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe before you leave as well. Yeah. So one thing I like to show people always is how mostly if you're going for the first time, for most countries, this is how the interview place looks like. Nothing else. You don't sit down. For most African countries, you stand there in front of a window, just like this, exactly the same thing. There will be a computer in front of them. There will be a computer in front of them. Okay. And then you would stand in front of them like this and talk directly to them. So this is how a visa interview looks like. You'll be holding your documents. They'll ask you, pass me your passport. You get your passport, you pass it to them. You pass it to them. There is a hole here, so you pass it to them. They'll say thank you. So they'll be looking in your eyes. They'll sometimes look on the computer, looking at your DS1s. So your DS1s is the form you filled online would be here. That is why I said read your DS1s before you go. So this is everything about a visa interview. You stand here for 3 minutes. They'll ask you the questions. One of the questions I asked, you smile, you answer, and that is it. Thank you very much. So I would see you tomorrow where we work on this stuff. Okay. Vincent said, "Can we normalize having the meeting on Google Meet?" Yeah, we're going to meet again on Google Meet. This is like a 30-day program for the next 30 days, so it will be available anytime, every time. So let's say in 1 year, and someone wants to practice for a visa interview, the person can still get access to this video and watch it. And so I'll still be doing the Google Meet meeting tomorrow is Saturday, so we are going to meet on Saturday and still be doing the Google Meet meeting. But here is every morning, so yeah, you don't have to miss it. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining. Make sure you write down the answers for me. I'll need it tomorrow. Okay, I'll need it tomorrow when we work on the delivery. Okay. If there is any other questions, let me know. So Vincent, we haven't stopped the Google Meet meetings. We'll be doing that, but every morning I'll be here. So if you haven't subscribed, just do that before you leave. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. May the Lord help you, um, and keep on preparing, keep on practicing. I'll see you tomorrow. We are going to work on your delivery. Please, please, please write down your answers. Um, and tomorrow, everything is going to be very easy. So write down your answers. Come here tomorrow. May God help each and every one of you. And may you pass your interview. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, and thank you for the likes. I really appreciate that. Everybody who is liking, thank you very, very much. I'll see you tomorrow.